This is going to be my first Ravens offense review of the 2023 season. It's kind of exciting for me. I hope you're excited. I tend to do concept videos, or maybe I'll show how a player in the NFL, typically the Ravens, executes a particular type of play or pattern of plays. I also like to do possession videos, and that's what this is going to be. Didn't plan this for my first Ravens offense video of the season, but I think you're going to see some elements of the offense that I'll try to prove to you just on this possession. If you don't know, this is the first possession of the game that Tyler Huntley came in. I will show you the play-by-play breakdown in a minute that I keep. I actually had a person message me on Twitter and say, you know you're lying. You don't keep track of every play. So I wanted to make sure I showed that during this video, and I'll make sure I show that in all my reaction videos thereafter. So there it is on your screen right there. But some of the elements that I would like to point out and focus on just from this possession, but I think can be extrapolated over the whole game that we saw. We saw a lot of 11 personnel on this possession. You can see it on your screen. It should be the third column from the left. A couple of them are missing. I don't know if this was the time when the NFL Network broadcast was like split screening. I don't know if you guys experienced that. Maybe you watched it locally on WBAL. I was watching it NFL Network. They kept split screening us, and then for a period of time, they took us over to the Rams game. Really made me mad. A lot of 11 personnel throughout the game, and you see a lot of 11 personnel on this possession. We did get the fullback on the field occasionally and one tight end, so 21 personnel. I think I got 3 instances of it in this possession, maybe 2. Todd Monken will attack to the boundary. You are going to see that in this video. You're going to see 3, maybe even 4 consecutive plays run into the boundary. That is something that I suspected based on the Georgia film, and that's something I now believe is just one of the things he likes to do. It could open up some interesting things for our tight ends, Andrews and Likely, which it seems like that's where the tight end's going to be lined up a lot, into the boundary. Same side runs. I'll show you a same side run, meaning the running back lines up on the quarterback's right, and the run play is called for the running back to get the ball and stay or develop a cutback lane on that side. It's called same side run. It's one of the things that offense has to do to keep defenses honest versus the running back lining up on the right and the run play always going to the offense's left, which would be the defense's right, crossing the midline, crossing the quarterback's face. Offensive teams that do that can become a little bit easier to stop because they don't have any same side runs. Hopefully that makes sense. I did a video that came out earlier tonight on the back shoulder touchdowns to Devin Duvernay and Tylan Wallace. I think that's a new element. I do not believe what a couple people have said, whereby that is something the Ravens have done for a long time. That is not true. We have not relied on back shoulder throws down in the end zone. I've seemed to remember one to Shamar Bridges in the preseason last year. Other than that, I don't remember a ton of them. A couple of run concepts that aren't new, but it appears as if the Ravens are going to use more is split zone. We didn't use that a ton under Greg Roman. No pistol at all that I saw. All shotgun or under center. And then finally, attacking the backside of 3-by-1 formations. 3 receivers to one side, attacking the backside, the single receiver side. Greg Roman was a guy who, wherever there was generally more receivers lined up, that's where he was attacking, whether it was with the run game or the pass game. And that's not just a Greg Roman thing. Offensive coordinators at all levels of football do that. That's just one of the things that some offensive coordinators do. Todd Monken seems to be a guy who is aware of that and wants to keep a more balanced structure. Let's get into the film. Long lead in for me, so forgive me for that. So this is going to be the first play. When Tyler Huntley gets in, I think it's a run concept. As you saw from the picture I showed you, I missed the ball carrier originally. It's a downhill run concept, I think 2 yards. I think it's Melvin Gordon back there. The safety to the boundary, played a pretty good game. I might like to do a film study video on him, to be honest with you. Comes downhill pretty abruptly, gets involved in the play. 2-yard gain for the Ravens. All right, next play, we're going to start to see some of the elements I talked about. Attacking to the boundary. 2nd and 8. It's the tight end. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but he looks like an interesting player to me. You can see short motion. So what I mean when I say short motion is from one side of the field, staying on the same side of the field. Greg Roman's motion typically would be across the formation motion. Short motion can be a cool element to show the defense occasionally, and then mix it up with regular or long motion. But in any case, it's a wheel to the tight end to the boundary. Why is this interesting, for me at least? Well, it's away from the nickel defender. There's the nickel defender. Typically going to be set to the field. I know the ball is not exactly on the hash. It's kind of in between the hashes, but the tight end is most modern offenses are setting the tight end to the boundary, and then when you run the hide concept or the split zone, he's coming back out to the field. It may be a handoff to the running back, or the quarterback may keep it, try to throw it to the tight end out in the flats. That's what I call a hide concept. This is a wheel into the boundary. There are other names for it besides just a wheel, but out and up, whatever you want to call it. Great throw by Huntley. Great route, great catch. You can see how dangerous this could be, putting Mark Andrews over there, putting Isaiah Likely over there. Some of those bigger bodies, Charlie Kolar as well. Big bodies that can go up and get the football. This guy's talented, man. Undrafted. Can't remember what school he's from. I don't think it's Nebraska, but it might be. In any case, big gain, gets the Ravens to the 50-yard line, gets us to midfield. 1st and 10, 3-by-1. I'm going to try to focus on the elements that I'm suggesting to you are, quote, new, and we're going to attack backside. You got slant, flat. We usually run, snag, where the X snags it up. So we did attack some backside, don't get me wrong, but oftentimes we would do it with motion. We didn't do it with the running backs as much. Lamar hit the running backs in a flat once in the Tampa Bay game last year. If you recall, he also hit Demarcus Robinson twice backside on slant, flat, snag, flat concepts, where you had 3 receivers to one side and you had these concepts to the backside, so he had a choice. And Lamar did hit those occasionally, but it wasn't a precept of the offense. This looks like we're going to attack backside often. If you recall, the 2 touchdowns to Duve and to Tylan Wallace were backside of 3-by-1 formations. And, of course, you're going to see the Tylan Wallace one here to finish off this drive. All right, so Melvin Gordon spinning out of the tackle by the inside linebacker. Again, you're going away from the nickel defender. I know I've shown this like 3 times, but you're going away from the nickel defender, who is here. So you don't have a nickel defender. So in terms of defending this, it's either man or zone, and in this case it looks like man, so this inside backer has got to go with the halfback. We didn't stress boundary side inside linebackers in the same way. Actually, the field side inside linebacker tries to take them because the boundary side inside linebacker blitz. We didn't stress boundary side inside linebackers as much in our offense the last couple of years. It's going to be interesting to see how teams adjust. Okay, so you had a 9-yard gain there to Gordon. I think it's a 2nd and 1 F counter. Where is it? To the boundary. It's only a 1-yard gain, so there's nothing huge about this other than you had the wheel or out and up to the tight end into the boundary. Snag flat to Gordon into the boundary. Now you have Gordon running into the boundary. I think it's Gordon. F counter with the fullback in, so it's 21 personnel. I put up the document for anyone who's interested in the play-by-play rundown, down, distance, yard line, personnel, formation. If anyone who's interested in those things, I put that up for you guys to grab in a shared document. Okay, same side run. 3rd and 1 here. Bunch A-gun for the Ravens has been 95% pass. When I say A-gun, if you're new to my terminology, running back same side as the bunch. If the running back's feet was over here and you had the same exact configuration, bunch, and then the X down here, that will be bunch B. That's just a way to quickly allow kids to communicate. But it's a same side run, meaning he's not crossing the quarterback's face. I think I'm going to give you the end zone angle of this one too. The running back is not crossing the quarterback's face to run out to the field. In this case, the offense is left. Got a pretty good setup block here by the fullback. These guys are engaging. I don't know what Monken'S philosophy is on forcing receivers, tight ends to be able to block efficiently in order to play, but this looks like there's a real focus on our guys being expected to block. Same side run. Designed to be, either hit downhill, or I think this one's going to cut off of Falele's block here on the D tackle. We have not done this in the past. Bunch right A was 95% plus pass. And if you don't believe me, let me know in the comment section, and I'll post up the screenshot of that too because I have the data. All right, so this ends up being a 1st and 10. I think it's incomplete to Prochet. It's kind of an inconsequential play. Yeah, Huntley's forced out. Throws it. Hope I don't give you all 22 of that. No, okay, so very next play, 2nd and 10. A quick pressure. Huntley's going to escape, I think, up the middle. It's a flex. It's a 2-by-2. I don't know that I'm going to give you the all 22 of this, but just so you know, look, ball's on the hash. Where's the tight end? Into the boundary. It seems like, we've moved into the more modern offenses where the tight end's going to be into the boundary a lot. You may recall that Mark Andrews was normally set up on our right, whether it was, field or boundary, although he did get moved around a lot more last year. So he had a 9-yard scramble by Huntley there on a 2nd and 10, sets up a 3rd and 1, and you're going to get Keaton Mitchell up the middle. I think this is the very next play. This might be the all-22 of the scramble. It is. This is the all-22 of the scramble. My bad. So this creates the 3rd and 1. Bunch right, hey, and we're running the football. For me, watching this live, I was like, okay, because we're going away from our tendency, or we're going away from our patterns. All offensive coordinators, or a lot of them, use the same formation. So just because Todd Monken's using the same formations as Greg Roman doesn't mean anything. You have some very clear evidence here that we're going to be a little more balanced run pass out of each formation. That's the type of thing that if you self-scout, you'll know as an offensive coordinator. In the past, we've worried that we weren't self-scouting or we didn't care about our self-scouting. All right, 1st and 10, I think you got an outside zone run concept, and we almost pull this off. I think when you get the end zone angle, we're close here. I'm going to show you the all-22 one more time. So we're running it, to this side with the running back. And watch Falele try to dig out this D-tackle. Spot shadow him. Try to dig out this D-tackle. It looks like he tries to cut him and then roll. Cleveland effectively cuts off the nose. Takes over the nose. If Falele is able to get up to this guy, Keaton Mitchell's got a cutback that's going to be quite effective. And we're going to get a chance to see him maybe make one guy miss on the backside, give you the end zone angle. One back last year under Greg Roman was play action pass, like a large percentage of the time. When I say one back, even though there's, a fullback on the field here, 2 running backs, tailback, fullback, that's 21 personnel, but it's a one-back formation. We were always play action, boot with the quarterback, or you may remember like Rashad Bateman's long touchdown catch against the Jets in week 1, play action designed rollout or designed boot with a unique protection scheme on the right-hand side. But anyway, let's get back to Falele. Cleveland takes over the nose from the center, and then Falele, if he's able to get to this guy, I think 95, then you can see the potential cutback lane that would develop for Mitchell. Different, we did run stretch outside zone some with Greg Roman's offense in the past. If you did not have this guy here right now, if Falele was able to get up to him, Keaton Mitchell's got a potential opportunity to try to hit this, back right up the seam and then make one guy miss and be out. So that was a 1st and 10, 0-yard gain, I believe. 2nd and 10, and I think this is where Huntley comes up limping a little bit on the scramble. It's kind of like we've seen this play many times before, not him limping, but him scrambling out to the right. Other than the play against the Broncos, the completion to Kenyon Drake last year on the left sideline that nearly scored, led to the game-winning touchdown, I believe. Tyler Huntley almost 95% of the time scrambles out to the right. So that scramble on the 2nd and 10 creates, I believe, a 3rd and 6, and this is one of my favorite plays from the whole daggone game. This is the scramble. My apologies from the all-22. Here's the 3rd and 6. All right, I knew it was wrong because Sean Ryan was on the wrong side. He's going to run the late drag. I think Huntley initially is going to look over to this side. I don't think I give you the end zone angle here, but I'll run it a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, so you'll be able to see his helmet. Yeah, there he is looking up to the top side, the right side, into the boundary at first on 3rd and 6. And then you got the late drag from Ryan underneath that we have left as an underutilized portion of our offense for, I would say, have we hit it at times? Yes. In 2021, against the Pittsburgh Steelers up in Pittsburgh, the game we lost, where we went for 2, unfortunately, and didn't get it, and lost, I think, 20-19. We did hit the backside drag 3 times, and we did hit the running backs underneath the zone coverage multiple times, but it has not been something we've done enough of. It's only one game here, so take it for whatever you want to take it. But this is an example of us hitting the backside drag late after already having sifted through these routes over here and decided we didn't want to go over here and hitting Sean Ryan late. You don't have to have a superstar receiver to get open on that route. You don't have to have a 6'4" X receiver who can out jump someone on every 3rd and 6 or win a back shoulder matchup. In this case, the backside drag gets him open, like an 11-yard gain. Cool play. As impressive as the back shoulder stuff was, for me, that one was even more so. All right, I missed who the run was in my breakdown. If you downloaded it, looks like this is Gordon again. And we ran elements of stuff like this before, but this appears to be, could be split zone. It could be the tight end just told to run out into the flats, try to widen this guy up. Maybe he's a 3-4 outside linebacker who's got rules, don't let anybody cross your face. But certainly we would look for him to maybe kick out this guy on the split zone concept and let the running back cut it back. In this case, Kolar runs outside, makes no contact with anyone, but he does have a safety that he pulls with him. I think it's the boundary side safety, this guy right here. Short gain for Melvin Gordon. Creates the 2nd and goal. That leads to a 3-by-1 formation. And then we're going to attack to the backside, to the boundary, with the X receiver, Tylan Wallace, back shoulder touchdown. Great throw by Huntley. Really throws it, I think, where only Tylan Wallace can get to it. I think I had this labeled as 11 personnel. This is actually 20 personnel. I just noticed it. This is Ben Mason in the slot. I thought it was 88 when I first saw it last night. This is Ben Mason. So this is 20 personnel. So if you did download my game data for the offense and the defense, I kept track of the Eagles offense too. That's incorrect. It's 20 personnel. End zone angle, last play. I tried to show you guys this possession because I thought that it, quote, proved the elements to the offense that I think are changing, are different from the past. Being in the shotgun, not being in the pistol, should have been obvious. 11 personnel usage also is pretty concrete evidence. I mean, at that point right there, I think we're winning in a court of law. But same side runs, you may not think is a big deal. It is. Same side runs are somewhat difficult to pull off at times. And Todd Monken seems to be a guy who's somewhat committed to it, number one. Attacking to the boundary and having formational balance that's not just run-pass balance, because we know that there was formations and situations last year where Greg Roman didn't have run-pass balance. This offense didn't have run-pass balance. But there's a second level or maybe even a higher level of run-pass balance, of balance, I should say, and that's directional balance. Where do you attack? When you go 3-by-1, if you don't attack the backside enough to keep the defense honest, then you're going to get certain coverages back there where they can overload the front side, kind of play 4-over-3, in some cases 5-over-3, depending on how you release the back. I intentionally only showed the third possession here. I wanted to get some content out quick, to be honest with you, number one. Number two, I wanted to show Huntley's play, despite coming up lame on the scramble and possibly hurting his hamstring or something. He stayed in the game. He provided a huge spark. The offense clearly, experienced an uptick the moment he got in the game and was able to, march downfield. Granted, we did convert a 3rd and 6. We converted 2 3rd and 1s. We were pretty much on schedule for most of that drive after the opening play, which was the 2-yard run, and then the out and up / wheel to the tight end. Vokalek, I think is his name. I'm trying to pronounce it now. So let me know what you guys think of the video. I'm omitting in this video mentally and from an evaluation standpoint, I'm omitting the offense that I saw in the first half. From an overall judgment standpoint, am I omitting it and forgetting about it? No. But for the purpose of this video and showing you some aspects of the offense that I think are changing drastically, almost night and day from the things we did with Greg Roman, that was very intentional for me to leave out first half plays that, where the offense really struggled, other than the big run by Justice Hill and the back shoulder fade to Devin Duvernay, and 2 first downs we got from defensive penalties that Zay Flowers was able to draw. Appreciate you guys' time. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comment section. I am going to do a extended look at David Ojabo, all end zone angle footage. Maybe show 10, 12, 15 of his plays. I know we only played 20 snaps. Didn't look as bad as a lot of other people have tried to summarize. I thought he was, in the right place, maybe not at the right time often, and on at least 2 examples was not in the right gap. Appreciate you guys' time, man. Thank you for checking out the video. If you think other Ravens fans would enjoy this content, please consider grabbing a link to it, sharing it somewhere on social media to help this video get more reach.